Hello BookTube. Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics has tagged me for the Curio Tag. This was a tag created by Will Chambers and it's about the curios we collect. Ideally book-related curios. You can see this bookshelf behind me. Not everything on the bookshelf is books. You can see maybe Ukrainian flag here. You can see various cars. You can see R2-D2 with Chewbacca. I thought for the Curio Tag we'd have a look at what's on this bookshelf behind me in some more detail. My name is Jim. This is my channel, Books, Reading and Stuff. Curios is going to be all about stuff. The bookshelf behind me, it's quite new. It was built by my brother-in-law, Pater, a year and a half ago, and I've been filling it up with books and curios. There's 13 compartments and we'll look at each in turn. Compartment 1, as you can see, it's just books, no curios. Then we move on to compartment 2, and in the middle of compartment 2 we've got this Australian Aboriginal painting. This was created by Frank Curtis on acrylic. It's based on the sand paintings of the outback, and this represents two old men who are hunting emu. You see the emu tracks here, and these are the water holes. I visited Alice Springs in 1988, fascinating place, and I do like Aboriginal art. Also behind this painting I hide treats. Here you see some cereal, sometimes it's chocolate, because my grandchildren, I'm sure they don't watch these videos. If there's any treats, they will be on them like locusts. Compartment 3 is interesting. That's my petrol head compartment. In it I have books related to cars and to model cars as well. There's books about Lamborghini and Ferrari. There's a book by Jeremy Clarkson, who I disagree with almost everything he says, but he's very funny. And you can see there's a car transporter. It's a Matchbox car transporter carrying 5 Lamborghini Marzl cars. The Lamborghini Marzl was a prototype vehicle, and from it they created the Lamborghini Espada. There's also a Lego model of a Lamborghini Countach still in its box, which I have yet to put together. Compartment 4 is interesting. This is my nostalgia compartment. There are some of the books that I read as a child, like Roald Dahl and The Cat in the Hat. There's also the Ladybug Book of Motor Cars. There's books about Snoopy and Sesame Street and Calvin and Hobbes. There's the Doctor Who annual. It's not the Doctor I remember as a child. The first Doctor I watched was John Pertwee. I loved that show. I think the last Doctor I really watched was Matt Smith, because then I moved to Georgia and I missed the last 2 Doctors. There are also some cars on that shelf. There's a Scooby-Doo car. There's the Yellow Submarine from the Beatles. The Yellow Submarine, this was the first pop song that I can remember hearing and being able to sing along with. Well, sing, I can't sing. Also, my earliest memory was holding a vehicle very like this car transporter on a train. I would have been about 3. This is my earliest memory. And my first day of school, I don't remember anything about the teachers or the school, but I remember this. This is the Captain Scarlet maximum security vehicle, and it was in the classroom. And I remember playing with this on my first day of school, which is all I can remember about my first day of school. And then there's a book about Jack Dee. I did some stand-up comedy. I can link here to my debut. I didn't do very much stand-up comedy and I wasn't very good, but it was something I enjoyed. Compartment 5. This is my art shelf. It's got some books about painting. I like visual arts, particularly painting. Some of my favourite painters are in the books. There's Edward Hopper, Rembrandt, Renoir. These are among my favourite paintings. We also have some London buses there. And this, some Doctor Who characters. Here is John Pertwee, my first Doctor Who. Tom Baker. Tom Baker's many people's favourites. I met the actor who plays him, and he was not a very nice person, shall we say. I preferred his assistant, Louise Jameson, who played Leela. She was much more endearing to the fans at the event where I met him. And here I got Matt Smith, the last Doctor Who I mentioned. And of course, we have the Daleks. What's Doctor Who without the monsters? There's also a painting from a local artist, astronaut holding some planet-shaped balloons. Also have some postcards there. This is Renoir's umbrellas. When I go to London, I visit the National Gallery. This is one of the paintings I love seeing again and again. The National Gallery also has some self-portraits of Rembrandt I like to see, Da Vinci's Madonna on the Rocks, and many other famous paintings. And this is a pre-Raphaelite painting. This is Isabella and the Pot of Basil by William Holman Hunt, and I saw this when I visited Newcastle. And here also from compartment 5 is this inkstand with these two ceramic books, and it says Leningrad. I got this locally in the Drybridge Market, which often has a lot of Soviet memorabilia. Compartment 6 is my physical TBR. Here we have also a womble and a clanger and some more vehicles, but these are the books that I haven't read yet. Compartment 7 behind my head, this is my classic shelf. It has a lot of Dickens and also Emily Bronte and Frankenstein by Mary Shelley and some other classics. And there's also this building of a Georgian bakery, says Tony here. Compartment 8 has this model of a theatre. I think it's a generic theatre. I don't think it's based on any particular theatre. If I had more plays, it would be a shelf just full of plays and this model of a theatre. I do have some Shakespeare and Plautus, but I don't have many plays. They're outside my comfort zone. I should read some more plays, I think. Compartment 9 is a mix of fantasy and science fiction on one side, and the other side is books that are Georgian, or either Georgian literature in English or books in Georgian. And we also have this Mammoth, which was on Cryptonomicon for March of the Mammoths. There's a Dumbledore to go with the Harry Potter. You can see the fourth Harry Potter is still in cellophane because I DNF'd the third. I haven't got any further with the series. Some timers. I have quite a few sand timers for doing my 1-minute reviews. And these ducks. I blame Pi for the ducks because Pi has ducks all over his video. Pi of attention. I have just the 3 ducks. One black, one yellow, one red. And the black one looks dead. This one might be a bit shaky because I'm holding my tablet. This is compartment 10, which has lots of stuff. You can see a fireman. The tram has got 015 because I've just read The Haunting of Tramcar 015 by P. Jelly Clark. There's a Matchbox Volkswagen there. There's a picture by one of my 7-year-old students. There's some paper flowers, which I think were created by my wife. There's the cowboy for Dune on the Range. Chewbacca and R2-D2 are deep in conversation there. The artwork is by my friend Jude from the Netherlands. It's some drawing pins painted over with gold, and it's an interesting picture, and a few more books. Compartment 11 has got the Great Paintings book. No curios. There's a lot of books related to teaching English. Compartments 12 and 13 are books mixed in with a few die-cast cars. There's this is advertising Hamleys. Hamleys is a great toy shop in Regent Street in London. I have many great memories of visiting Hamleys as a child. They do have these tiny little books here, but these are not ones you can open, not like Will Chambers' tiny dictionary, but they're useful as props maybe. Then below the bookshelf we've got this row of teddy bears. These are not mine, these are my granddaughter Anna's. I have watched some other Curio Tags. I saw Mark at Book Time with Elvis and his Curio Tag. I watched Will Chambers' original one. He has a fascinating miniature dictionary in his. I saw MJ's tag and her Alice shelf. I saw Aaron Facer with his Curio Tag, and also, of course, Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics, and all his paintings and tarot cards and stuff. I'll link to their videos of the Curio Tag in the show notes below. Who do I tag? I'll tag the two history buffs, Vin at Revenant Reads and Erica at Passage of Time, because I think they'll have some interesting historical curios. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe below, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.